The Grand River Conservation Authority is urging caution after suspected blue-green algae blooms were spotted recently at Conestoga Lake and Bellwood Lake. Not only does it disrupt the ecosystem, but it can also be toxic for people and pets. Let's discuss with Dr. Matthew Tenenbaum, the Associate Medical Officer of Health in Wellington, Dufferin, Guelph. Dr. Tenenbaum, great to see you. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.
Can you first just start by telling us exactly what harmful blue-green algae is?
Sure. So essentially, blue-green algae is the term we use for a kind of bacteria that can live and thrive in lakes and other bodies of water under certain circumstances. Essentially, it's called blue-green algae because if you see it, it might look like this surface scum layer over the water that almost looks like blue or green pea soup. It might look like a paint spill, but it's this blue-green typical color on the water made up of these bacteria. And unfortunately, the bacteria, as they are going through their process of blooming and then dissipating, can release a lot of toxins into the water that can make it hazardous to drink, hazardous to play in, or otherwise consume. It's something that does take care of itself, but during a time it's blooming in the water, you don't want to be in the water or drinking the water.
So what are some of those potential health effects that you could experience if you are exposed to high levels of blue-green algae?
So if you were, say, swimming in a lake nearby a blue-green algae bloom, you might notice things like skin irritation, eye irritation as the immediate signs after being in the water. What we're most concerned about, though, are that some of the things that these bacteria release into the water are different kinds of toxins. They can be toxins that affect the liver, leading to stomach upset. They can also be certain kinds of neurotoxins that can lead to problems with the nervous system. So we want to avoid those kinds of things. The sort of irritation symptoms are typically more common, but the more severe forms include damage to the liver and damage to the nervous system. So that's why it is important to stay away while they're blooming.
We hear that it's harmful for animals as well. What are some of the health effects that animals could experience?
So I think, given the nature of these toxins, you're going to be looking for similar kinds of things. We can't really advise animals to keep their distance or to avoid consuming it. They don't really have the same kind of choice and information that we have, but it'll be similar kinds of effects in the animal population.
Okay, how does blue-green algae find its way into our local waterways?
So essentially, again, blue-green algae it's a bacteria, and under the right circumstances, you'll have this big bloom where that bacteria rapidly multiplies. And essentially what you're looking for is circumstances that lead to a rapid influx of nutrients. Typically, for example, if you have a lot of runoff after a storm into the water carrying with it key nutrients, that's where bacteria that are already there will bloom up, massively increase in population, become visible before eventually dying off, and that bloom will no longer be visible after that happens. So the bacteria are around, but the key thing is this rapid influx of nutrients, often after a big storm or other big rainfall event.
Okay, should people be reporting blue-green algae if they come across it? Is this something that Wellington, Dufferin, Guelph Public Health keeps track of?
We do. So in this case, the blue-green algae blooms that we're seeing right now are ones we've been working with the Grand River Conservation Authority on, and we know they have signage, they have messaging they put out, and that partnership we have with them is our way of making sure people are informed about the kinds of risks and things to look out for. People should always exercise some degree of caution if they are, in a lake, they're noticing their skin's getting irritated, if they see the water looks different, if there's an odd smell to the water, something like cut grass, for example, those should be key signs that it's worth staying away. You can always give us a call at Public Health if you're seeing something and you're not sure what it is, and you think it could be blue-green algae, or even if you're confident, you can give us a call because we'd like to know that information.
Well, we know it's out there, so it's certainly great advice and something to keep top of mind at this point in the summer. Dr. Tenenbaum, thanks for the advice on this. Dr. Matthew Tenenbaum is the Associate Medical Officer of Health in Wellington, Dufferin, Guelph. Thanks again, as always.
Thank you very much.